Hello.
Hello.
Well, first I got to talk about the good movie.
Okay.
I got to get that out of the way. And the good movie is not Birth of the Dragon. Which is
Oh shit! Come on, yo. Oh, that shit was off the chain, yo.
Oh damn! I gotta save it. I gotta save it before we get to Birth of the Dragon.
Okay,
Birth
okay.
of the Dragon is what we just got out of.
Yep.
I was at a movie last night, which is called Good Time. I don't know if you've seen any trailers for this. You probably did. Ever see a trailer for this movie?
I don't recall.
Well, if there's one thing that Good Time has in common with Birth of the Dragon, it's that the theater was completely empty in both of them. I was the only one at Good Time, which is unfortunate because it's easily one of the better movies that's playing right now. Honestly, it's one of the best times that I've had in the movies this fucking year, and I was the only one at the fucking movie. I was sitting like, man, other people should be here. This movie should be more crowded. There should be more people here watching this movie with me.
So you're saying that you didn't have a bad time?
No, I did
At
not
Good
have
Time.
a bad time. I had a great time. It is a total sleaze flick, man. It is fucking gritty and seedy as fuck. Like, I remember when Brian and I were reviewing Taxi Driver, and we said watching Taxi Driver in the theater, you feel like a rat should be crawling across your foot while someone's banging a hooker in the back of the theater. That's what this movie felt like, man. It was so tense and so darkly funny. Like, okay, here's what the movie stars Robert Pattinson.
Okay.
And I love actors like Robert Pattinson who, they got their franchise out of the way, so they're set for life, and they can do whatever fucking weird movie that they want for the rest of their life. I've seen him in 2 movies this year, both of them easily 2 of my favorite movies of the year. Earlier, I saw him in Lost City of Zed, and now with Good Time. It takes place in the present, but it has a real, it has a real grit to it, like something you would see in the late 70s, early 80s, something you would have seen on 42nd Street or something like that. Like, you expect any minute now Robert Ginty's gonna walk by and save hookers by throwing a guy in a meat grinder. Fuck. Okay, so the movie is he and his mentally challenged brother. This all takes place in Queens. It all takes place really in kind of a 24-hour period of time.
I wish I still had my popcorn.
Right, yeah. Trust me, just describing this movie will be better than sitting through Birth of the fucking Dragon. Jesus Christ. So, Robert Pattinson and his mentally challenged brother in the movie rob a bank at the beginning of it.
Okay.
And then the mentally challenged brother gets picked up by the cops because he's an idiot. Actually, a lot of things in this movie can be described as because this person was an idiot. So he is trying to run from the cops, and he ends up running through a glass door and he gets arrested. He gets thrown in Rikers, and Robert Pattinson has only a certain amount of time to get some money to a bail bondsman so he can get him out of Rikers. But meanwhile, the brother's in the hospital because instantly he gets his ass kicked because he got up to go change the channel on the TV. Like, hey man, I was watching that. And dude's like, I don't care, I'm changing the channel. Gets his ass kicked and thrown in the hospital. So the movie is really just this kind of bizarre night odyssey through Queens and all these weird characters that he sees along the way so he can try to hustle up some money in getting his brother out of Rikers. And I want to say the character is good at thinking on his feet, but it's sort of like he's making, it's not so much he's good at thinking on his feet, it's that he's still kind of making bad decisions and trying to save his brother, but it's kind of buying him some time while creating about 200 other problems for himself. No, go ahead.
I was just thinking, while you were describing this, it sounded an awful lot like Birth of the Dragon. So
no, dude.
So it's almost like, how do you keep these how do you keep them straight? How do you keep like this idiot is doing this?
Oh,
but
well,
this idiot is in
the
here.
brother, really, we're just following Robert Pattinson.
Okay.
Really, we're just following Robert Pattinson. The brother, once he gets beaten up, he's kind of out of the movie
okay.
until the end. It is really mainly just about Robert Pattinson just having this odyssey through Queens where all of this like sleazy shit is happening. Like, for instance, he ends up at a house at one point, and he's with this 16-year-old girl, and so he's like, by this point, the cops are looking for him. They know he's the one who robbed the bank. So he's on the TV, and what he sees is a news report that shows his mugshot, and he's got to try to keep this girl from seeing it. So what does he do? He's like, and just starts making out with her, this 16-year-old kid. And it buys him time. She doesn't see the television. There's one part where he goes in to break his brother out of the hospital. I'm getting into spoiler territory here. I highly recommend this movie. Please go see this fucking movie. It is an insanely good time. It is tense and funny. So I'm going to get into spoilers. He goes into the hospital to break his brother out, and he does it. And you're sitting there like, what are you doing, man? This is just gonna end bad for everyone. But he gets the guy out. Come to find out later, it's not his fucking brother. Like, it's a guy who had a bunch of gauze on his face, so he thought it was his brother. And this is a guy who ended up in the hospital because he was tripping on some fucking acid and took a dive out of a cab and got his face fucked up. So then he and this acid addict, I guess, like, are fucking trying to find this money that the guy in the hospital hid inside of a carnival haunted house. This movie is so good. Like, you've got to see this fucking movie, man. This movie is like if you cross. Do you remember the Paul Walker movie, Running Scared? Where it was.
No, I don't think I saw that one.
I
saw Deep Blue.
It's not that. It's not Deep Blue.
I saw Fast and the Furious.
No, dude. It's if you cross like Running Scared, which was Paul Walker, again, kind of having this weird odyssey through a night and a lot of sleazy shit's happening, like, if you cross like that with like Martin Scorsese's After Hours and a pimp beating up an old woman outside of a 42nd Street porn theater. Like, that's what this movie is.
Okay.
And I had a great time. So
they're asking if spoilers are over. So do you
for
have
a good time?
Yeah. Do you have any more spoilers?
No, I mean, to wrap it up, I don't know how many theaters it's going to be playing at over the weekend. I think it's probably leaving our theater. I was the only one in there, and again, that sucked, because I was really enjoying the fuck out of the movie. I loved it. It's easily going to be one of the top movies that I see. It's got this booming like synth soundtrack to it that a pet peeve of mine in movies can be like opening credits that come a little too late into the movie. If they come like 10 plus minutes in. This movie actually did that right, because it really was part of what was kind of making you feel uneasy in this scene where this guy is in prison. Even the credits look a little off and weird and everything. It really adds to the mood, and so does the soundtrack. It kind of wraps itself up rather quick at the end, but maybe that was just because I wanted this movie to just keep going, because I was having such a good time at this. A way better time in that than in Birth of the Dragon. In the matter of 2 days, in empty theaters, I've seen what is easily one of the best movies I've seen in the year. And what is probably going to be one of the worst. Wow! Birth of the fucking Dragon.
All right, let's get started on that then.
Yeah, let's get fucking started on Birth of the Dragon. I just went on good time. Do you want to start with Birth of the Dragon?
All right. So right off the bat, the very first thing we see in there is the WWE logo.
This is the biggest twist in the movie. I had no idea that was I had no idea that was the case with it.
And I made the joke. I instantly made the joke. Somebody just busted into Vince McMahon's office and said, "Mr. McMahon, somebody is watching your movie."
Man, two people are watching. He puts on Celebrate on his radio. This movie should be called The Birth of Steve. It is exactly what this fucking movie is.
Yes, fucking Steve.
Fuck. So what Birth of the Dragon is about is the fight in 1964 between Bruce Lee and Wong Jack Man. Something that could easily make a pretty cool movie.
Yeah.
You could definitely make a movie out of that.
Yeah.
This movie's not it.
Right.
That's not even the main plot of this movie.
Right.
It would be like if you said, "Hey, I got this idea. We'll make a movie out of the Rumble in the Jungle." Like, and you go like, "Oh, clearly who's that going to be about? Is it George Foreman and Muhammad Ali?" No, Rick. So the real main character in this movie is a guy named Steve,
Right.
Who's a fictitious character,
Right. Yeah.
Who is
an idiot.
Yeah,
He's an
this is one of Bruce Lee's students who then later cheats on Bruce Lee by becoming Wong Jack Man's student. So
and then proceeds to meddle between the two of them.
Yeah. They are supporting characters in their own stories. So
Right.
Steve could have the main plot line and be in love with the waitress at a restaurant that's run by the Chinese mafia. Come to find out in this movie, the reason why this fight happens is so Steve can save his girlfriend. The restaurant won't let the girl go unless Bruce Lee and Wong Jack Man fight. And Steve's like, "You gotta fight. I need my girlfriend, you know?" And then a winner's not declared. Like, "Well, a winner's not declared. Sorry, Steve. We're gonna put your girlfriend, we're gonna make her a hooker. We're gonna sell her fucking body." And Steve's like, "Bruce, you must save me." Steve. That's who this movie's about. Fake ass Steve character.
The birth of Steve.
Yeah. In 20 years, maybe they'll make a movie out of the Mayweather, who's the other
McGregor.
guy? McGregor.
Mayweather McGregor fight.
Who's it gonna be about? Joe. Fucking.
McGregor's brother Joe.
Yeah.
Joe McGregor.
Like, oh, god damn. Keep going with this. It could be like, "Oh, the Tyson Holyfield fight. I'm sure there's a story there for a movie. Yeah, let's make it about Jeff." Like, it doesn't take long in this movie to figure out what went wrong here, because it seems like they wanted to make this movie about Bruce Lee and Wong Jack Man.
What went wrong here is the fact that the WWE made it.
Well, could be. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is something. I think this movie might have been made a couple of years ago. Honestly,
Oh, really?
WWE might have just picked up the distribution rights for it. I don't know, but that's a guess. I'm not exactly
Okay.
sure on that. This feels like something that was made 2 years ago. So. It feels like they wanted to make like a movie about Bruce Lee and Wong Jack Man, but accidentally got the script for one of those 70s Bruceploitation movies.
Yeah.
That is what this movie is. At least the 70s Bruceploitation movies were really unapologetic in the fact that they're exploitation.
Because you even pointed out how the whole Bruce Lee and Wong Jack Man was kind of a separate plot to the whole Steve and his girlfriend.
To the Steve thing. Like, and you know what? At least in the Bruceploitation movies, the Bruceploitation actors were the leads in them. Like, and you know, and as tasteless as this movie is, the ones from the 70s were a bit more tasteless. And Exit the Dragon, Enter the Tiger showed clips of Bruce's funeral and ended with Bruce, like Bruce Lee, and they're not actually Bruce Lee, but Bruce Lee played Bruce Lee in the movie,
Right.
and he played two dual characters, and at the end Bruce Lee as Bruce Lee goes, "If I were to die, you will be my successor." And shit like that. There was a movie, it's like Dragon Lives Again or Dragon Still Lives, where Bruce is in purgatory fighting for control of hell alongside Popeye. I mean, there's these movies got insane, and they're kind of awesome, like fucking clones of Bruce Lee and shit. This movie's not as tasteless as like that, but those other movies are way fucking better than this, because at least those other movies are up front about what they're doing.
Honestly, just finding out that Bruce Lee is fighting for control of hell, I gotta see that.
You get it, dude. It's
I gotta
great.
see that.
And it does play kung fu fighting in it. You lean over to me and go, "Is Carl Douglas gonna play at the end of this?" I'm like, I will be shocked if it doesn't. It doesn't, surprisingly. Sam and Dave plays at the end of this movie. And so it is part accidentally making a Bruceploitation movie, and also sort of part Godfrey Ho in the sense that it feels like this Steve character should be played by Pierre Kirby and inserted into this movie about Bruce Lee and Wong Jackman having a fight. And yes, it does all end with Bruce Lee and Wong Jackman storming a Chinese mafia-ran restaurant and kicking their ass at the end to save waitresses. I'm making this movie sound amazing in its badness. It's not. It's a piece of shit. Like, fucking watch a Bruceploitation movie from this movie tries to turn into Enter the Dragon at the end of it.
Oh yeah. the henchman with the brass knuckles. Oh.
Yeah. Guess that's where he learned that from. Saving Steve's girlfriend. That's why we got Enter the Dragon. Man, the Golden Gate Bridge is in this movie more than Bruce Lee is.
Oh, let's talk about how they made Bruce Lee the villain, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's Johnny from Cobra Kai in this.
It really is. Sweep the leg.
Yeah.
You got a problem with that?
You know what? I understand the arc they were going for there, because he does learn something by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And I do kind of get what they were going for there, but I did lean over to you and go, so, okay, Bruce Lee's the bad guy in this movie. Like,
and it definitely felt like that.
Yeah.
It definitely felt like that. But I guess, okay, internet, was Bruce Lee really cocky?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Because he was
charmingly so.
Charmingly so.
Definitely, yeah.
But he wasn't charming in this movie. He was just an asshole. Yeah, he was just an asshole.
Yeah, you know,
what are you going to do when there's a badass on the street?
That was very Bruce Lee. Like, it was, I'll say this, like, the actor, I thought did fine. Like, he, not that he was a spitting image of Bruce Lee, but he looked like a movie star. He looked like he could have a lot of charisma.
I guess I just like I said, I thought his Bruce Lee impression was very over the top.
Bruce Lee, in parts, yeah, but Bruce Lee was very over the top. In fact, and don't get me wrong, like, there were parts where it does come across like that in this movie, because this is a shit-written movie.
Well, yeah.
Like, it does. In fact, in some scenes, he was very larger-than-life, like Bruce Lee. In other scenes, it felt like he was maybe toning it down a little from what Bruce Lee would maybe do.
That's true. I didn't really, during the fight scenes, I didn't hear Bruce Lee go, "Whoa!" a lot, you know?
In the movie?
Yeah.
In this movie?
Yeah. A whole lot. I mean, he did it a little bit, but like less than he might have.
You know what kind of came across as when he was doing that in this movie, when he was doing the and all of that? Less like Bruce Lee and more like I'm watching Fistful of Yen from Kentucky Fried Movie. Like it's Evan Kim up there playing. You remember Fistful of Yen from Kentucky Fried Movie?
I guess not.
Oh, that's a fucking classic.
Oh, okay.
It's a parody. It's a whole parody of this segment of Kentucky Fried Movie, at least, is like a 45-minute parody of Enter the Dragon, honestly. And it's very, very funny. Even if you haven't seen Enter the Dragon, it's very funny, and that's what a lot of the Bruce stuff in this was kind of reminding me of a little bit. There are way better things you could be watching than this, man. Aside from just watching a Bruce Lee movie, you'll get far more enjoyment out of any of the Bruceploitation movies, really.
Dude, like seriously, I wanna see Bruce Lee take control of hell.
He fights the Man with No Name, The Godfather, The Exorcist, Mummies, again alongside Popeye.
Awesome.
And Emmanuel is there.
Awesome.
Cause why the fuck not? It's a great movie. That movie's a lot of fucking fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It is. When he arrives in hell, it looks like he's got an erection. He's like wheeled in on a gurney. That's when Carl Douglas starts playing.
He needs that pressure point therapy.
No, but it turned out it was like his nunchucks or something. I think it's been a while since I've seen it, but you could watch that. You could watch Exit the Dragon, Enter the Tiger, any Bruce Lee or Bruce Lee movie. A Godfrey Ho movie, on any Pierre Kirby movie, man, this is bad. This is so misguided. I was sitting there trying to figure out what they were thinking with this, and all I could come up with when they were storming the restaurant at the end with Steve, I was sitting there like, I think they're just trying to take this story and make it a Bruce Lee movie,
right?
Like Steve is the John Saxon in this, I guess, but is only a tiny fraction of how awesome John Saxon is.
Yeah.
God, this is it's fun to talk about.
It is fun to talk about. Oh, yeah. What about John Cena's cameo?
Really? Was he in this?
But you didn't see him?
No, I didn't.
Exactly.
You sure you weren't watching Ferdinand the Bull instead? You don't understand your wrestling lingo? What the fuck? Make a Thunder Lips reference, I'll get that. I went to the bathroom like twice during this movie.
I know,
so,
right?
Like, I don't know. I mean, I was like, was he in one of the scenes? This movie's short. It's less than 90 minutes. This movie's so short that the shit that I took before the movie was still there when we went to the bathroom afterwards. Yeah, that was better than Birth of the Dragon. You got any final thoughts about this? Is there anything we left out other than the numerous fucking establishing shots of the Golden Gate Bridge?
Just to remind you, we're in San Francisco.
Yeah, it's like, thanks, movie. It's like, I got the fucking point. The biggest laugh in this movie was when the fight in the restaurant started and the music starts kicking in. And like, oh, you were sitting there next to me. Oh, yeah!
Oh, shit, son.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, shit! It's going down, son! It's going down!
Oh, and by the way, Bruce and Wong Jack Man have the power of teleportation in the fight.
And they can fly or float.
They can float with their wire work.
They all float, Georgie.
Man. This is just awful. This is just a terrible fucking movie. Had you even heard of this before I called you like 2 hours ago? I'm like,
no.
Dude, you want to go see this movie with me?
I'm like, yeah, sure, why not?
Final thought is, if you get some friends together at home,
get high.
Yeah, and you have some drinks in you, you could get a laugh out of this.
You could.
You could.
We definitely had fun riffing it.
We did.
Yeah.
We had some laughs sitting there in the theater because we were the only fucking ones in there. So, and maybe it's serviceable in that regard. I think there's several other Bruceploitation movies that'll be even more serviceable if that's like have it as a double feature with, like, you know, clones of Bruce Lee or some shit.
Yeah.
Or fucking Game of Death, where they put just a picture of Bruce Lee's face on the mirror and have the guy double for it. Watch that movie. God, when they had 20 minutes of Bruce Lee footage in there, and they padded it out with a look-alike and stock footage and just a picture of Bruce Lee's face stuck up on the mirror to cover the guy's body. Fuck. There's some man. Any other thoughts about this, or is that about it?
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, this movie was just. I mean, I'm having more fun now making fun of it
than actually
watching it. Yeah.
I know. Same here. Well, thanks a bunch, everyone in the chat, for coming by and watching us talk about this.
What was great was after I made that John Cena joke, I just watched all the like groans and eye rolls. Worth it.
The chat is judging you.
I know.
So tomorrow, man, there hasn't been shit coming out in the last couple weeks. Tomorrow, I think I'm just at the Inhumans screening. There's like some stuff that's starting Friday. There's like Tulip Fever and Valley of Bones. As for tomorrow night, I think I might just be at Inhumans. I'm not sure. I gotta play it by ear, but there'll be some screenings over the next few days. So, all right, take care.